Can you hear it?
Well, I can hear it with my ear too, so it's not a good.
Cheating.
It's not a good test.
All right, Van Gogh, yeah.
You have to Van Gogh your ass. Cut off half of your butt cheeks.
Welcome back to another episode of We Talking About.
We talked about Suicide Squad,
We did.
as you may or may not remember. If you haven't watched that, we'll probably link it somewhere, if not up here, down below.
It'll be linked on the channel. You can find it.
It'll be in the list called videos. Well, after we were done talking about it, towards the end, I say out loud, I'm so happy now we finally saw this and took care of it. Now I can go watch like everyone else's YouTube videos about it. Because I like to do that shit. And I can't wait to there's hours of content just waiting for me out there. And like everything else, I expected to kind of hear the kind of shit you usually hear, right? The same thing happened with Batman vs. Superman. Where I was like, I can't wait to find it because we wait a week and then we see it or something.
Yeah.
And then I go, oh, I can't wait. What does Kevin Smith think? What does this person think?
I know Kevin
what
liked
does that
it.
person think? So, just starting there, Kevin Smith liked Suicide Squad.
Yeah, but that doesn't
going on
necessarily
here?
surprise me.
Okay, why not?
And I love Kevin Smith. I 100%
Yes.
respect his opinion, and I will listen to whatever he has to say about things. But for the reasons that Kevin likes it, I feel like could be skewed or biased in some ways. One of his great friends is Batman, who is a pivotal player in this franchise. So I could see him not wanting to throw it under the bus just for that, because he knows his boy is like directing the next one, and to shit all over this could really hurt the future of this franchise.
And that's potentially even like a cynical way to look at it, but yeah, totally like.
But plausible.
Why would he say?
Then
fuck these
there's the
movies?
fact that like Kevin's not an action director. He he likes comic books.
Yeah.
And just seeing some of these comic book characters that he likes, in the first place, makes it so you have there's two schools on a fanboy. A fanboy A will either like a comic book movie just because it's a comic book movie, or they're gonna nitpick the fuck out of it because it's not a comic.
You didn't do it
and,
right.
And I feel like Kevin is on the other side because he does not like making action movies. He doesn't think he's good at it, so he's not gonna shit on someone else for not doing it well, because most people don't shit on people doing things they can't do. Like that Olympian. Only runs a 4-minute mile, piece of shit.
Because him as a filmmaker, even I could see him being, and he's made comments like that, like I don't fucking know, like oh shit, this guy's great, oh, so like this movie actually has writing in it, like something happens earlier, then it comes up again later. Oh shit, I just do people sucking off donkeys and shit like he just has that attitude.
And then if you look back to like Jersey Girl, not a big hit, but a movie he liked enough to make and write, where he met and presumably became friends with Will Smith, who was in that movie.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Motherfuck.
So two swords there in the poker, two irons in the fire, or whatever.
Fires in the eyes.
And I'm like, okay. Then there's the third thing, which might be the biggest thing. So his daughter is named Harley Quinn after Harley Quinn. The character who played Harley Quinn gave Harley Quinn her baseball bat from the movie.
I'm glad that you specified that she was named Harley Quinn after the character, the comic book character Harley Quinn. No, exactly. And like he mentioned that final point in his like thing. He he saw it for the first time with his daughter. He's like, oh, she was loving it, and I was loving it. It was like, yeah, and he had all these it's like 40 minutes, 10 minutes of it is like, oh, I'm just jizzing everywhere, and it's finally we got a thing, and it was cool, it felt dope, it felt young, it felt whatever. He had all these glowing things to say, and it made me be like, did we watch the same movie as Kevin Smith?
No, we definitely watched the same movie.
What happened? Yeah.
And it's
Are we just dead inside? I'm saying.
At different points in my life, watching different movies, I've had completely different thoughts on them, and it's possible in X amount of time, or if I would have seen this at his age now, I might have thought differently, but I didn't, and I can't say I will know what I would have thought at that age, or with his experiences with the comic book world, or if my daughter would have been given things, and if my friends would have been in this movie.
No, I know, and those are really valid things that would have influenced him and stuff like that. And he made a comment like, I picked up on the same things because I watched this and you didn't, I assume. Because
I saw it.
Oh, you saw Kevin Smith? Okay. I thought you were just nailing it. You're like, holy shit. He knows all this shit about Kevin Smith and tie it all together on the spot.
Well, I would all that stuff I knew off the top of my head, but I did watch Kevin Smith's thing.
Okay, exactly. All right, so yeah, like he literally said like, and they had like the black hand and like turned it over.
No, and that was amazing. That was really good.
I think most people admit that like that's an awesome moment, but but like Kevin Smith, to your point, literally said like, I wouldn't have thought of that shit. I'd have been like poof, and we would have told him to cut. I would have moved the bitch out, put the other stunt in, and said, there you go. Like in the '70s, like I don't know what the fuck, like that was awesome, and it was awesome.
It's one of those things I would have loved to have seen. What did it look like from a wide angle, though? That's the kind of thing that only works in a movie
Yeah.
because you can frame the shot.
Yes.
I still like it.
I still love it. Shit, and that happens early where you're like, this might actually be alright, this might be good or something like that.
Yeah.
A lot of other people. So like, if you remember during our X-Men Apocalypse like talk, we were, we had like a bunch of, like things and like critical things and problems, and then at the end we both said like, it's about a seven something or some shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Something along those lines, or like an average out to a 7 or like whatever. And like the internet seems to be doing that for this movie, where everyone basically says all the same shit we said, but at the end, instead of saying, I don't know, people at DC are gonna start committing suicide, everyone's fucked, they say, it's about an 8, 7, something, and they say some like high score or something. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
I think I gave it a 2.
Well, I was gonna say, like, we don't do numbers usually, or like whatever, but I would not go higher than like 6. And like, it's great because like to like agree with us in like all of we kind of nailed it, by the way. We said all like the right things or whatever. But
Well,
like,
we've seen movies.
because we've seen the movie and we could talk about it. But like, we everyone says all the same things, like, oh, what was up with this, what was up with that, the Joker thing was this, and why is everything so quick and rushed even though it took so long, and why are these people with like bats and boomerangs fighting a like wizard from the ancient Incan time or whatever, like, because all that's very obvious to say, but then people have their own little stupid things, and then at the end declare, so DC's like starting to right the ship, and like I give it a 7.5 or something like that, and I'm like, how is this happening? What the fuck?
Honestly, if I had to give it a real number, it would probably be like a 5.
Yeah.
Because a 5 is like, okay, you did not make the worst movie in the world.
Right.
You're not in the negatives for me because you broke like even is the 5. We're like, yes, I did not demand my money back. Do I think I got my money's worth? No, but I didn't create a stink. I just complained.
And like, people like 6s and 7s can cause scandals, but like literally, yes, a 5 should be like the middle. It should be like neutral.
Yeah.
And like 0 should be like, this film should be erased from history. We should like destroy it.
And a 10 should be, I had not one issue.
Right.
Everything was perfect. And a 10, there are not many 10s.
No, in like the history of film, no. If you want to limit it to comic books and just judge them relatively, I think maybe like Avengers might have been a 10 or something like that. Like the first Avengers.
Yeah,
or whatever.
the first Avengers was pretty
maybe
solid.
a 9 or whatever. But even then, it's like as time goes on, I don't even know anymore. But it was shocking. So like Comic Book Girl 19 didn't put up a review at first. It's up now, but when I like went looking for stuff, her like review was not up. She just put up like a 7-minute video that said like existential crisis about Suicide Squad.
I did not see hers.
It's just her being like, oh god, I don't know, why do I keep doing this? I'm sick of this. I'm sick of seeing the movies that I know are gonna be bad and telling everyone why they're bad and just having everyone go, oh, it's Harley Quinn. She was just like, she's like, I just can't. And the robot is like, but you're Comic Book Girl 19, yeah? Like what? And she's like, I don't know, we'll do it. I don't know. And then like,
I love that though.
and at the end, it says like, okay, like my real review will be up soon or something. Whatever the fuck. I thought it was awesome. And like her opinion being so the opposite of Kevin Smith's, who has some like ties and stuff. But a lot of other reviewers were all the way on different sides or whatever.
A lot of reviewers can suck a dick. I don't
Yeah.
care what they think. And like, while I said I love Kevin Smith's opinions on things, I love how they're said. Even if we have the complete opposite opinion, he delivers them in a way that I want to watch it. I'm entertained by it.
Yeah.
But there's too much things for non-biased review from him right there. Comic Book Girl 19 did not have any issues like that, and I imagine I would agree with 100% whatever her review is.
I feel like a lot of times, and we're just like calling people out, but like she's like very much
Shots fired!
She's very much, because like with X-Men, I think she likes that a lot. Like she says a lot of stuff like, this is not the same as the comic, therefore it is like awful and bad or something like that. And then at the end she says, well, in all fairness, I guess it's fine or whatever. But I'm kind of like, I don't like, I'm not on the same page as that. I'm okay with things being different as long as they're good or like whatever.
I'm okay with things being different as long as it's for a purpose. If you just were like, nah,
Sure.
it's oh, now he's got spikes or
Too many
something. I'm
blue
like, the fuck is that?
characters.
Yeah,
He
that
should-
shit makes me angry.
I'm still so like, I want a fucking thing of like, oh, he's from Egypt, give him sand powers or something
Yeah.
like that. And you're like, what? Why would you do that? No, but the sand will kind of do apocalyptic things. The kids will love it. It's fine. No one knows what apocalypse actually does. but a bunch of other reviewers, and like it was like shocking. You'd watch little like source-fed shits or like cinema thingies or screen whatevers. There's a million things now on the internet, and they'd have like two, three, four people, and they're like, okay, let's go around the table, and it would be like, this was fun. I think I'm happy. I got to see some cool stuff. Next guy's like, this was an abomination. They should be ashamed of themselves. They should like gouge their eye. Like everyone is so like after Batman vs Superman, people said the internet's divided, and I'm like, really? Like delusional people and people that are being critical of something that has flaws, like divided like that?
Yes.
And here again, it's like, well, critics and audiences are divided or something.
Well,
I'm
critics
like,
are
why would you be
purchased.
divided? It's crazy. It's craziness to me.
There's so many critics that I hate because they work for different studios.
Well, yeah, you find out that like this.
A lot of them are owned by
it's
Disney.
like operated by a thing that's a CBS interactive thing that's a part of a thing, and that's
Yeah.
where they. I don't know. When you like my random sampling of whoever I follow, and then whoever comes up next after I watch it, I was just blown away. It was a fucking roller coaster, and like before, like after the first couple, I was like, all right, let's see if this person's a crazy person or if he's like actually gonna be fair and like attack this like correctly or whatever. Not that he has to agree with me, but like you have to bring up things that are like, this was a
You
mess.
should at least address
Like, yes.
the major concerns that we have.
Yeah, you should say something like, what was up with this whole train wreck over here? Or like, well, these other good things to me outweighed the train wreck, or you have to like all, encompassing or whatever. But how it became a train wreck, so you said that you read like one article at the very least.
Yes.
Where we started poking around. So like afterwards too, during our like review thing, we said out loud like, I gotta see what the hell happened here actually, because this feels like a mess, kind of like BVS was.
Yes,
So
I
you're
now
like,
forget what the number they said, but like, what do you remember? It was 4 hours or something with
'cause
this film.
I
or
think
9 hours.
You
or
you texted me 19 hours.
19 hours.
which I googled, like Suicide Squad 19 hours, and I'm like, I'm not sure what you found there.
I forget. It was off Reddit.
Okay, but like they didn't have like a 19-hour cut of the movie that they cut.
No, they
down
had
to
like
this
well, he had
Yeah.
19 hours of like keeper footage,
of like
and and
stuff.
some of that could be like this, the same scene but from a different angle or this and that, but
different
but,
takes, different
yeah.
yeah.
But he had
So,
like 19 hours, so he dropped like 17 hours onto the floor, and apparently enough on the floor was to film a full Joker movie on his own.
So Jared
Leto
Leto's,
was pissed. Well, he was pissed.
He so like there was one thing where he said fuck him, but that turned out not to be in like it was taken out of context to be like salacious. But even when you watch like the real like interviews and stuff, he's clearly like, yeah, I don't know, I wish they would have done something. Like he's trying to be diplomatic, but he's kind of like, I don't know, I did a lot of stuff for this. I really wish
I went back and watched trailers because I haven't seen all the trailers for this movie.
Okay,
I don't really
good,
watch
good.
trailers,
Yeah.
and you can see in the trailers things that aren't in the movie.
So
that's
okay.
obvious. They did definitely cut things.
So people are putting up like montages, and I was gonna like watch them or something, but I think we'll just because there's not really much there. It's a lot of little things. People have been putting up montages of like deleted scenes from stuff that was released and stuff that was, and a lot of it comes from like the trailers. There's like 5-minute videos of like shit with like the Joker and Harley filmed from like a weird angle where you can see some fat guy behind her or something like that. So it's like on set, like leaked or something, or like or like released B-roll, like teaser from like a feature somewhere. And then the rest of the 5 minutes are like shit where you're like, oh yeah, right? Because in the bar, it's like, what'll it be? And like he goes whiskey and whatever, and then Diablo says water, and she's like, that's a good idea. And they have this whole thing, and you're like, that wasn't in the movie. What the fuck? That was a whole part of, like the trailer.
Yeah.
And like there's a lot of shit like that was in the trailers, because I only watched the first 1 or 2 trailers. But yeah, there's a bunch of shit from the trailers that wasn't in the movie. And people are all pissed.
There's a lot of Joker shit that like Joker. You can see what I presume was after the helicopter went down, because he has like the burned face.
Yes.
He comes back. Leto said like it was filmed that he came back after the helicopter crash to help them defeat the girl.
Wow.
And then I think joined her when she offered the who would join me, blah blah blah, and he joins her.
That was filmed?
Apparently,
That's fucking crazy.
he joins her, and at that point, Harley chose the team over Joker.
Over Joker, I can't go with you, Puddin' or whatever.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Okay. Yeah, no, like you could tell, like BVS, that there was stuff cut or stuff, and you're like, wait, we're here now, and like, okay, I can remember, and we or I at the very least forgot that Flag was RoboCop, the new RoboCop guy.
I knew that.
I didn't realize that because I kept thinking like, you look familiar for some reason. But there's a part where he says like, okay, he shoots people, he eats people, he sets people on fire, and goes through like the list.
Uh-huh.
But that was like just for the trailer, kind of, or like whatever. But then like when you watch the movie, you like if you like remember the trailer, you have all this in your head and it like fills in stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm like, wait, if I hadn't have seen any trailers, shit would have happened, and I would have been like, wait, what? What are you talking about? Like something, you know,
Yeah.
would have been lost on it.
I was looking at some poster art and stuff too, and Slipknot's like not in like a lot of them, and I'm like,
Oh.
well, that was a tell. And you
Yeah.
kind of like, I thought he would die because he punched the girl in the commercial. It was his only bit of the commercial was he punched the female officer,
Oh.
and I'm like, they're probably gonna kill him.
Oh, I didn't even put that together because he punches her, in the movie too.
Yeah.
And he says she had a mouth or whatever
Yeah.
the fuck, and was like, oh.
And then they killed him.
And then they kill him. Like, hey,
1 second into his character
don't
action.
punch ladies unless you're Batman, in which case you can punch
Yeah.
all ladies you want.
Well, underwater.
It's just a bunch of little, all these deleted things and things are just a bunch of little like peppered like things. There's no like with BVS apparently because that was like the natural thing is like, wait, are you just releasing like, you know, introductory versions of these movies in like theaters and then I have to buy the Blu-ray to get like the real movie?
That's been the
that
scam
the
for a couple
deal?
of years now.
So, like,
especially with releasing things as unrated and rated
Yeah.
R, because you know you're gonna get that extra money. I get your
Exactly.
20 in the theater, I get your 20 at home. Fuck off.
Because if you tell me there's 12 more minutes of Joker and it's rated R now, like, you know, if you didn't hate the movie, you're like, oh shit, this is gonna be great. This is
Yeah.
awesome. But if you need that version to like fix the broken version that was in theaters, I don't know. And the guy who like, what are you gonna say?
I was gonna say they just probably wouldn't. I don't think DC will release an R-rated movie for quite some time.
Right.
In a superhero genre, like
Were they talking about
after
you mean
Deadpool
into
came out and
theaters
hit
or
into
like,
theaters,
oh, yeah,
into
yeah.
theaters.
Right.
Their risks are already too great just by releasing movies that they can't afford to release R-rated.
Just by
movies.
making movies in the first place, they're already taking a huge risk because
Yeah.
holy fuck. No, I totally just feel like weirded out by the whole internet experience of people not uniformly saying, "Holy shit, get your shit together! This is such a mess again." Like studios stop fucking with the movies. This is like another thing because this is David Ayer, who I don't really know that well. What movies did he do? End of Watch. Sounds like something you might have seen.
Is that the three movies, like the whatever series? That's
No.
not that. End of Watch. Doesn't ring a bell. with
He
me.
wrote Training Day, and End of Watch is like a
Okay.
Training Day-ish, like gritty crime. He made Fury, the tank movie.
Oh
I
yeah,
think,
Fury. He did do
Yeah.
that one.
which I didn't see that
That
either.
sold
so,
a lot of people on it when they
Yeah.
said that he was on it.
But you take like, okay, this is. I'm so glad we like, trailed off long enough for me to like remember the last major thing, which is like, so they had like a version of the movie. Those rumors about reshoots or like whatever.
Uh-huh.
There was also something about recutting parts.
Okay.
They got the company who made the awesome trailers.
Mm-hmm.
So all the like weird like Technicolor like text and all that
Yeah,
weird
yeah.
shit and like the music, changing every 30 seconds to be like pop songs from the last 20 years or whatever.
Yeah.
All of that shit was apparently like this other company coming in and like tuning it up and making it hip. So
Okay.
like this is not even David Ayer's actual like original, and that makes sense because shit happens and there's music playing over it, and then you're like, wait, if there was just like dum 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 like playing right now, it would feel totally different. Oh shit! So you're having that whole like fucking crazy moment. But don't hire a director that does a certain thing and then
fuck it,
change
yeah.
it. Hire some young, pliable director that no one's ever heard of, and make it into this thing of like, we're giving this dude a chance. He's got spunk, and then just make him do whatever you want and have a crappy thing like Fantastic.
Well, because
Four.
that benefits two people. That would benefit,
Yeah.
like potentially the movie, and the director gets some credit. But when you pick a director, let him direct, and then fuck his directions, you just make a bad movie.
Well, you're wasting everyone's time. Because if you're gonna make a fucked up train wreck of like a badly edited, like weird, like focus grouped movie anyway, don't waste like an actual director's time. Let him go make a movie that will actually have a complete vision and some awesome shit in it.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, that's like why did they pick a real actor to play Croc when Croc has like no lines
That's
and
the
you
last
can't see
thing,
his
too.
face?
So I was talking to somebody in real life, which I rarely do. So it was probably
IRL.
probably my sister, right? Because she liked some parts that I didn't like, and vice versa, or like whatever. But she hated the way Croc looked, and I was like, Well, I didn't really hate the way he looked. I just thought it was kind of like a waste and like blah blah. We like talked back and forth, and I'm like, yeah. And she was like, ugh, and like the BET thing or whatever the fuck, and I'm like, yeah,
that
right.
was
Like,
dumb.
why? That's a weird direction. And I'm like, honestly, because people online were like, hey, if you wanted to like do that, why not lean into it? And people were saying like Terry Crews or someone, like get someone who's like who can like act through the costume and like bring something to it. And I was like, oh, they should have gotten the guy who played Adebisi.
That was out of BC.
I know that. I didn't know that
Oh.
when I said this to her. You knew that already.
Yeah.
Though. Okay. Did you look that up or how did you?
No, I saw it from the
Oh.
beginning when they first cast it.
Okay. No. I like may have heard that and like forgotten it, but Adebisi played whose name is Adewale, I think in real life, something. He played Curse in Thor 2. And I thought had a great like swagger and shit like that as like and I'm like yeah, he would already be down for like having makeup and acting, and he's a good physical actor. He could have brought so much to that role. And then I go home and I find out that it actually was him. I fucking blew my mind. I'm like, how did this fucking what? Because that like would have been my like short list of like who to cast for that.
My
Some,
favorite
like, gangster
Croc,
dude.
and I thought he could have done this better,
Yeah.
is if you take the Croc from like 90s cartoon, the gray, just like
Yeah.
reptilian, like not scaled like he was in this, like,
Right.
because this, I don't know, it just...
Well, and I said to my sister, like, well, I think people are reacting negatively to Croc because, like, if you, well, how much of the cartoon did you watch? Okay, whatever. Well, he was fucking charming as fuck in that cartoon. He had a certain awesome, like, quality about it.
rock.
It was a big rock, in my, like, life as, like, a fucking comment. The estuary, and he's like, that's from the same episode. And he goes, oh, the big bird house. And he goes, oh, okay, thank you. Like, he has this weird, like,
Yeah.
it was great. It was fucking great.
No, he's good.
But did you have like a person in mind? Were you building towards like it should?
No,
have
I
been this
thought
guy
I
or
thought
something?
even him, because he's got an interesting jaw and cheek line. I think you could have done it with him.
Oh, just like-
put in the a gnarly teeth
Oh,
and
okay,
like a
okay.
prosthetic to like lift the side of his mouth a little bit.
bring more of the actor out.
Bring more of
into
the
thing.
actor out.
Sure. I think that was partially like a rubber suit, right? And they just CG'd some stuff onto it.
I heard it was all practical.
Oh, all practical. Okay, I thought they were doing like eyelids or some shit like that, but
No, he had
okay.
something like 8 or 12 hours of
Oh
makeup.
my
Like he
God.
was. I'm
That
pretty sure that was
sucks.
all legit.
to fucking say that fucking I feel.
But who knows if they jokered
they-
him? He may have had all kinds of lines. If
Right.
they just butt fucked.
He might have been a whole like thing or something, and the lines be like you barely understand him. I don't know if he was like really talking with weird
But how
teeth in or
I
something.
imagine, like how I would feel about this, if my face is already 100% covered, I'm not getting credit anyway. Like you wanted him to play the part he played. Like he's obviously not being
Yeah.
recognized. I don't think he cares how much he was in it. He got paid the same amount.
Oh no, I'm sure he's fine with his life because like Curse was like a similar thing where he's just this weird like villain behind the villain for a while, and you're like, oh okay, he's strong I guess, but I don't know. Fuck.
We'll see how it goes.
Well, so now like my assumption was I was gonna check the internet and they were gonna be like, holy shit, like DC's firing people, now Ben Affleck is like literally doing everything to make Justice League all by himself. There's no crew, there's no one. It's just him doing all the parts. Everything is just Ben Affleck.
But
Something
DC's
like
actually
that.
like record gains.
Yeah, they're like, fuck, just for this week, in this month, it was a record, or is it like a new record for them? I don't know what kind of record it is.
Well, if you make
But,
$6 on a ham sandwich, it's a record for them.
They made like a 100 and something, 40 something, 30 something, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, oh fuck, and I don't know how
No,
much it
that's,
costs to make.
I don't like people not being punished for bad things, and it doesn't seem like anyone ever gets punished anymore.
Well, I was talking to someone else in real life who was like, no, I saw BVS. You said it was gonna be all like, I enjoyed it, and I'm like, I know you enjoyed it, but it's
A lot
kind
of
of
people
like,
love shitty movies, though.
well, but so I always think of Transformers, where for some like through if you look behind you, certain parts through like a various weird collection of like circumstances, Transformers is very important to me, and like it's not that I need it to be a specific thing. It's just like, well, it could be good though, and they go, well, we know what more do you want? It made like $2 billion or something, and I'm like, I would like it like, but what if like imagine if it was good. It would have made $5 billion.
Or probably the same amount of money, but stand up and be watchable.
Well, I would have enjoyed it or something, right? No, like I think if the movies were actually good, if it wasn't like a whole segment of the population thinks it's like a like guilty pleasure, if it was like Oscar nominations for like
Yeah.
like the guy who mocapped Optimus Prime, if it was like that level of shit, I think that it would have made $4 billion, like a bajillion dollars. It would have been like, holy shit. it would have been this whole thing. But
We're all about celebrating mediocrity. People just will watch a whole movie for one scene and go, "That was pretty good," and that's how life is going to be now forever, it seems.
well, that goes back to the point at the top of this episode, which is like, are we just dead inside? Why can't I walk away from a movie that had 10% we said was like cool shit, right?
Yeah.
17, 25 minutes out of a 2.5-hour thing? That's not 10%. I didn't do that right. The point is, why can't we walk away from that and go that was pretty cool? Why does it plague us and bother us, all the bad shit and editing shit and writing shit? I feel like I'm a fucking prisoner in my own mind.
I like things to be good in most regards. It's because the unforgivable thing, and I keep saying this, is that all the things you can affect, they don't. And the things that are outside of your realm of possibility, that's what they are trying to fuck.
Let's spend months and months and months and hire people and fire people just to try to change that.
Yeah.
Whereas something easy, don't have her say that.
How about just make the script good? There's a million comic books. You could just do whatever the most popular one was, maybe.
I really wonder if they have those meetings where you sit down with the script and walk through it and figure out if it makes sense.
No, they just pick little trees.
I have no idea. So it turns out, bottom line, long story short, future, it looks like the DC filmic universe is just going to be Transformers with Superman and Batman.
Oh yeah, it's
right?
going to keep going in this
it's
direction.
Just
You're going to keep getting them on their regular scheduled database.
Yeah.
It's just going to keep coming out, and it's going to keep being bad in the same way. And people are going to keep complaining about it, but it's going to keep making money because people keep seeing them.
Yes.
Long story short, you don't want shit to get made. Stop seeing shit.
I guess we're part of the problem.
We are part of the problem.
Shouldn't have gone to see
But
this.
we're here to tell you if it's shit or not.
We're here to warn you. A couple weeks late. Next time we have to go opening night. We should dress up. Fuck.
Dress up like a fuck. I'm done.
All right.
All right, guys. Until next time, don't die in a fire.
Quick bonus thing. You'll probably not find this on here. Related to that same day that we filmed Suicide Squad, we also filmed a trailer roundup.
Mm-hmm.
Did that make it up?
Yeah.
Okay. Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
While I was on the internet doing things and hearing shit or whatever, I heard a rumor that they brought in the writer producer from the Community.
Okay, to make it funny.
To now, because they have months or whatever, but he's now writing a punched up version for them to go into reshoots and pick up shots which are normal. But now there's shit being written specifically to inject more humor into Doctor Strange, because they apparently watched the rough. There wasn't enough Wi-Fi jokes in it or something apparently. Which, if you remember, we literally said, this shit was, feeling okay. I was, tantalized, and then they had to smack the little thing at the end with, some goofy, lame comedy, and it, brought it downhill. So, that's the rumor. So, now, if that's true, and, I don't think it could be false, because, a guy was hired, right? So, I feel if true, I'm now as concerned as you are about Doctor Strange. Die in a fire.
One more.
Okay.
I saw a thing that said there was a Doctor Strange movie from the 80s that I had never seen before. And an interesting tidbit was the mother from, oh God, what the hell's that show with the Never Nude?
I got nothing for you.
Sterling Archer's mom is, what's her name?
She's a cartoon character.
She's also voiced by a person that actually is a human. And that person played the bad guy in that movie when she was a young and attractive lady.
Who played Doctor Strange?
Doctor Strange was someone I don't think I ever saw before in my life.
Wow. I guess we should watch that.
I don't have it. I don't even know if I think it might have been the 94
it's buried.
Fantastic Four. I don't know if it's available. We can check at Comic-Con though for it. I'm sure it'll come out this year.
Last Comic-Con there weren't many booths. It was drying up, I feel like.
Nah, there were a couple bootlegs.
Yeah, but last time my first Comic-Con I was tripping over those.
Yeah.
And at the most recent one it was what? It's I have to look?
We'll hit up a B
bullshit.
Like a horror convention has them all.
Okay. Gotta take it down a rung or whatever.
Yeah.
Alright. Die in a fire?
Fuck 'em.
Alright.